YouTube, we are going to do a very quick Moran Hot Take, as she's mainly a tank, meaning that the theorycrafting that you can do on her is fairly limited. It's generally more a matter of testing on what she can survive and what she cannot survive, hence I did not prepare a spreadsheet this time around for this. And we're just going to look a little bit at her skills, abilities, and I'll tell you guys what I think, whether you should pull or not, and where she will fit within the Nikke landscape. So, her skill 1 is Bring It On. It increases the defense with every HP percent loss, meaning that she's kind of a tank berserker Nikke. And also activates when landing 5 normal attacks. It will deal extra final damage, final attack as damage to the target that she's striking 5 times in a row. When Leave It To Me is her skill 2. It activates when firing the final bullet. It affects 3 enemy units with the highest attack, and it taunts them for 4 seconds. So 3 enemy units taunted at a time. When the HP falls below 20%, she does 3 times once per battle a specific effect. Once, she will increase her HP by 91% for 3 seconds. And this is max HP increase with healing, by the way, meaning that she's also healing for that amount. You can think of it like Noise's max HP increase. The second time it would be by 69, nice, 0.84% for 3 seconds. And the third time will be 51.09% for 3 seconds. Meaning that 3 times per battle, she kind of gets a lifeline effect that will save her multiple times in a row, allowing her to just tank more and more. Her burst skill, Fair and Square, affects herself and changes her weapon. It changes her damage to 14.7% of final attack. It lasts for 10 seconds. She gains a leech effect, where she heals 36.14% of attack as HP for 10 seconds. It taunts all enemies for 10 seconds, which is huge. Taunting all enemies for 10 seconds can have huge implications, especially in Arena. Well, specifically for some enemy comps, not all of them though. She cannot take cover while casting the burst skill, meaning that she will face tank absolutely everything in existence. And also, she reduces the damage taken by all allies by 35.14%, and increases their defense by 14.85% of the caster's defense for 10 seconds. Now, Moran has a little bit of a weird kit. Oh, Clau, how's it going? So, she increases her defense for every percent HP loss, meaning that, in a sense, you want her to be lower HP to get the most value out of the defense for her, but you don't want her to drop too much, because if she drops, then she immediately heals back up and loses the defense. Now, that lifeline effect is probably the main thing that will make her very viable in Arena. As far as I'm concerned, when it comes to PvE content, she will not see that much play. Increased defense with percent HP loss and lifeline effects, unless she doesn't get randomly one-shot, which will happen a lot, especially since she won't have any defense buffs from 100% HP. And once she will get hit by a bullwhip, also known as the flying shrimps or seahorses, or once she gets hit by a mono eye, she will lose 99 to 100% of her HP in one go. Meaning that the defense is not gonna save her. You see that a lot when you're using Tia in hard campaign push, for example. She just get one shot out of nowhere. Sometimes even through her shield, she just fucking dies. So taunting a bunch of enemies at once is never a good idea in campaign push. Now, for boss fighting, depending on the boss that you fight, it probably doesn't matter. So she could see some niche play specifically for her damage taken down for all allies by 35%, which can be quite useful. The problem is that she's 40 seconds, meaning that you would have to choose for these type of scenarios between using, Moran, who reduces the damage taken, or, for example, Noise, that increases the max HP by a lot. Generally speaking, if you look at all of her skills, she won't see that much play, except in very, very, very fringe cases in PvE. Now, in PvP, which is what most people are talking about for her, she could see usage. Now, whether the damage taken reduction by 35% would be enough to save you from, for example, a Scarlet Slash or a Summer Anise shotgun pew 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 missiles, we will have to test that directly into the arena field itself, because that will depend on what you yourself are facing, and we will have to see how that goes. The taunt for 10 seconds, however, and the lifeline effects that she gets 3 times per battle, meaning that she's almost immortal thanks to that, assuming she doesn't get one shot, allows her to hard counter anything that is similar to Red Hood and Alice, meaning very strong single target, multiple hits to kill something, burst Nikke. So if you struggle facing those type of comps, you already had the answer of Nero, Makima, and for example, taunters with Biscuit. Now you have the addition of Moran without having to probably sync Biscuit, assuming the lifeline effect is enough for her not to get 100 to 0. The defense up of caster's defense is not a huge thing, because generally speaking, this is caster defense, meaning base defense. So for example, here it would be based on the 5015 defense of the Nikke. So it's not going to be a huge effect. It has a lot of value because she's a defender, so she has higher base defense than regular other types of Nikkes. But it's not what will save your Nikkes, generally speaking. It's that flat damage percentage reduction that will really, really kick in and actually do some work. Her own Berserker defense type of thing is more of a PvP thing, as I mentioned, because it requires the HP to go lower to gain that defense, but once her lifeline effect goes into effect, she will lose it effectively. So dropping to 20%, she gains 90% of max HP, plus healing, meaning that she's going to go back to something like 70-ish% or something. Then she will lose that much defense percentage. And then once the effect disappears, assuming she didn't lose additional HP, she will lose additional defense. So it's kind of like a countering each other, but it should help her in the sense that when she's doing her burst, she will lose her HP progressively since she cannot take cover during that period of time, assuming she doesn't take bursts of chunks of damage. And she will basically be able to counteract and help her own leech. All in all, she's very, very, very niche when it comes to PvE, to the point where I say almost because there will probably be fringe cases where you can use her in PvE, useless in PvE. As far as PvP goes, most of her usage will be niche, assuming that you cannot use the damage taken reduction. The damage taken reduction to survive very powerful hits, such as Scarlet, such as Summer Anise, and you can heal it back up. That is the main thing. So that will be it for the Moran Hot Take. I hope you enjoyed the video. If it helps you, drop a like or subscribe, and I'll catch you guys on the next video. Have a good one, guys. And with that, I'll out.